Happy Sunday to you. Happy Sunday to you. Happy Sunday to you. Happy Sunday to you. Okay. Let me go over to my notes. Happy Sunday. All right. I thought it was going to be a poem, but Spirit's like devotion. Okay. So I was speaking with someone recently, and the keynotes, is that it? Keynotes, key points, I'm not sure. Okay. I wrote or typed is that they made, if you have the Holy Spirit, the Bible is inside of you. You will know if it is right or wrong. And I'm like, yes, that's a word. That is so true. There's no argument. There's no fighting. There's no, well, let me put it this way. I can't say all that. I would just say on a personal level, I agree if, I would just say depending on my relationship with the Holy Spirit. I mean, basically what they said, if you have the Holy Spirit, like you have open communication, you have a relationship. So if it's inside of you, it's like, for example, if you have a buddy or a friend, whatever, bestie, and you know them very well. So if someone says, yeah, they're from, I don't know, someplace, like, no, they're not from over there, they're from here, because you know them, right? Or if someone says, they like, I don't know, whatever foods, and you know they have allergies to that food. So no, they don't really eat that like that. So you automatically know because of your relationship, your not just your knowledge of them, but you just know them, right? That's your friend, that's your bestie. What's something deeper than that? If they say, oh, they went off on me and they called me blah, 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 you're like, Now, it's not to say people aren't beyond certain things. Everyone's, gonna always behave a certain way. Like, it's a possibility. But if you know that's not within their character, they've never really behaved that way. They've never really, reacted that way. Not that it couldn't happen, but if you're listening to someone's version of their account of them and it doesn't resonate with you, that doesn't sound like them. It doesn't sound how they talk, their mannerisms, like, no. So, I mean, what you may do if there's a possibility that, did something crack? Go to them and ask them, so-and-so is saying you said this or you did this. Now, I know you, but, did that really happen? And you could tell if they're lying. You know them. You know their tells if they're like, So I would just say, okay, I wouldn't erase the possibility because I guess that I don't want to do, just say no, it's beyond a person. But I would hopefully know them better than that. But I could address them like, wait a minute, did this really happen? I don't think this is you, but let me just bring this to you directly, right? So if the Holy Spirit is within me, if I have a relationship, then yeah, I could be like, that's not like the person of the Holy Spirit. Or you know what? Let me go ask the Holy Spirit. Let me have a conversation because I don't think that's it. But, I want to have clarity on something. Maybe it was a weak point. Maybe, someone pushed their button. Maybe they did, have an explode or, go off, whatever. But no, in general, what that person was saying is if you have the Holy Spirit, the Bible is inside you. You will know if it is right or wrong. So yes, I agree. I think I've, driven that point home. And then they said, you will have few followers, but those who follow you will know you are telling the truth. Very true. I suppose Jesus had 12 disciples or so, and I believe there were maybe more. But maybe not just really the disciples, but those who believe in his example, his model. Might actually be few. Like you may have millions or thousands that say, yeah, I follow him, but really, 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 really do, right? Those that truly are his disciples or believers know that he's telling the truth. They're not going to persecute them. They're not going to say, hey, you did. No, they know he was healing the sick or he was casting out, demons or whatever. He showed mercy to people that others would just, cast out or, I would say the S word, but it's a sensitive space, or condemn or judge. So his record shows one of grace and mercy and understanding and compassion, right? So those who follow him knows that, hey, he's telling the truth. He is not doing all those things that he's accused of, right? Okay, so another point the person made is someone can quote the Bible, but you can't quote the Holy Spirit. Now, what was it? They can quote the Bible, but you can't quote, the Holy Spirit or their heart, right? So I believe what they said was Satan or the devil knows the book from beginning to end. So, of course, he can quote it, but can you really speak of a relationship with the Holy Spirit? Can you quote that? You really can't fake a relationship, love, the heart of the Holy Spirit. And I think that goes back to that friendship and that relationship. The first point, if you have the Holy Spirit, the Bible is inside you, you will know if it's right or wrong. So if someone's quoting it, like I don't need to know what interpretation that is, what, who, blah, 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 whatever. I can already sense, I already know or discern that, that quote doesn't quite resonate. It doesn't really sound right to me. It doesn't feel right. Something about that just is not right. So you can't really quote the Holy Spirit, the heart. So anyone or anywhere that you may see an interpretation, like, okay, maybe, whatever version, I guess. But can you imitate the heart of the Holy Spirit? Nah. You feel it. Going back to that friend example, you feel their heart. You're connected to their heart. You're like, that doesn't sound like them. It really does not feel like them. Not just sound to our ears, but to our hearts. Okay. And one of the last points they made was Jesus couldn't help everybody. That's why he had disciples. He can be everywhere, right? So I'm like, yeah, that is so true. But then my mind goes to some of those disciples were like, well, betrayed him, doubted him, denied him. So they weren't perfect, but I guess they were still in the fold. Oh, okay. So going back to recent events, where we see fallen soldiers, wounded soldiers in the ministry, it's like, there's a heap of church hurt, a heap of just destruction and false prophets and just abominations, horrible bad behavior within the ministry. What does God say about that? Are we coming at people to restore them? Not to necessarily leave them in their positions, because no, we don't want people. But, okay, was I going the wrong path right there? Well, okay. As far as, I'm trying to choose my words carefully. Because I don't know. I don't really, no, I can't say that God would always truthfully take someone out of their post. They may still be up there. And I think for me, it's hard for a congregation, for people to, I'm looking at the time on this because it's going to cut off. I'm sorry. Okay. I think it's hard for someone that believes in their pastor or their deacon or the, singer or performer, entertainer, whoever, in the ministry, and just whatever it may be, usher, mother's board, deacon board, whatever ministry. I think it's hard to just disconnect or to detach or to let go or to hear the truth, because that's their fellowship, that's their livelihood, that's everything. I find that church or organizations or clubs or things are more so like a hiding place for people. Not hiding place, a refuge, a place where, actually I kind of feel like it's a hiding place, but okay, I won't go into that down to there, but okay, let me bring it back up. What do you call it? Like, I mentioned fellowship. That's so important because without that, what can most look forward to if they can't go where everybody knows your name and they're always glad you came? Okay, so that's a bar. So I'm not comparing church to a bar, but I mean, I don't know. It's like a place where you can go where, people know you or you know them. It's familiar. You can either dress up or whatever. You can put on something. You've been looking at your outfit. It doesn't matter what you have on, but, I see people get excited in their outfits, their fits, right? Like they can't wait till that Sunday. Like, yes, they have it all laid out. So, and I love it. I love to see people feeling confident, looking beautiful. I believe they all do, no matter what it is. It can be jeans, it could be whatever. But as long as they're happy and they're feeling good, then that's important. That's solid. So if you remove that from someone's life, it's like, dang it, they have all these clothes, all these things, this perfume, this cologne. This was their thing to get up. The music for me as well. Like but when I go to church, I'm like, don't let me be late and miss the whole praise worship session. But anyways, I'm like, I love a live band. I love the bass. I love the drums. So, I mean, you take that away, it's like, what is left in life? We have our families and stuff, but usually it's, you look forward to that fellowship, that music, that all of that, right? That release as well, getting up and hearing someone else's testimony, maybe being around others who are also fighting their way through, because it's not necessarily our jobs and our bosses that keep us excited through life. Like, no. One of the other points that person made was most people are unhappy. 99%, I think, or if there was a survey or something, that most people who work in their jobs are just not really happy. It's a paycheck, right? They try to make the most of it. But in other words, that's not why we live, for the jobs that may kind of run us down to a point, right? If you're sitting for an extended period of time, or if you're just arguing with people on the phone, not arguing, but if they're irate, if they're, just whatever, that's really not the highlight, bottom line of someone's day. Oh, the recording's going to cut off. Okay, so let me just wrap that up. Those were the points made in the devotion. Did I get to everything? Just about. But lastly, they said, walk in the light, the beautiful light. And I don't remember the rest of that song. We can remember it on the call. So, walk in the light. Happy Sunday.